Every morning at exactly 8:05, a golden retriever sits at the corner bus stop, alone, tail still, eyes searching, and he never gets on the bus. Not once in the last 3 years. Every morning at exactly 8:05 a.m., the golden retriever appears. He walks calmly, never hurried, down the narrow sidewalk that runs past the old bakery and settles at the rusted green bench by the town's only bus stop. He doesn't bark. He doesn't wag his tail. He simply sits, alert and still, facing the curve in the road where the bus always comes from. No leash, no collar, no signs of being lost. Yet everyone knows he's waiting for someone. The townspeople have grown used to his presence. Some toss him scraps. Others give him gentle pats on the head. Children try to play, but he remains focused, eyes locked on the road. The bus comes and goes, passengers stepping off and on, but he never moves. He just watches. And when the big hand on the nearby clock strikes 9, he stands, turns away, and disappears behind the bakery without a sound. That's the part no one understands. 17-year-old Mia had never noticed him before. She'd only just moved in with her grandmother after her mother's passing. But once she did notice him, she couldn't stop. There was something haunting about his stillness, his purpose. She started sitting across the street, pretending to eat her croissant from the bakery, while watching him. She took notes. 8:05 arrives. 9 o'clock leaves. Rain or shine, weekday or weekend, the schedule never broke. One morning, she tried to follow him. She stayed a few steps behind, silent, cautious. But the moment he turned the corner behind the bakery, he was gone. No barking, no paw prints, just an empty alley and the faint sound of a distant church bell, though there was no church in town that rang at that hour. Curiosity turned to obsession. She asked around, but no one knew where he came from. No shelter claimed him. No neighbor had seen him arrive or leave. Some said he'd been waiting there for years. Others whispered stories about a boy who used to own a dog like that. But no one could prove anything, except Mia. She knew this wasn't just routine. The dog wasn't lost. He was waiting, and whatever or whoever he was waiting for hadn't come. Not yet. It was raining when Mia stumbled across the photograph. She hadn't gone looking for it. She'd simply been searching for an old raincoat in her grandmother's attic, rummaging through faded boxes and brittle books, when a warped envelope slid from a drawer. Inside, tucked between yellowed letters and a pressed flower, was a black and white photo. It was a bus stop, the same one the dog waited at every day. But what made her breath catch was the group of people standing there. 3 figures. A man, a woman, and a young boy. And right beside them, sitting upright and alert, was that same golden retriever. The edges of the photo were curling, but the ink on the back was still legible. Spring 1989. Last morning together. Mia's fingers trembled. That couldn't be right. The photo was over 3 decades old, but the dog in the picture looked exactly like the one she watched every morning. Same deep-set eyes, same fur pattern, same scar above the left eye. She raced downstairs and confronted her grandmother. Who are these people? Her grandmother went still. Her eyes didn't focus on the photo, but somewhere far beyond it. "You shouldn't be up there," she whispered. "That's not for you. But this is the same dog. It's him, isn't it? The one at the bus stop." Silence stretched long. Her grandmother finally shook her head, but not in denial. Some things in this town, they don't change, even when they should. Later that night, unable to sleep, Mia held the photo under her lamp and stared at the boy. He couldn't have been older than 8. He was smiling, half hugging the dog, as if refusing to let go. The woman had tears in her eyes. The man looked away from the camera. Mia didn't know why, but she felt it, the weight of a goodbye. The next morning, she went to the bus stop earlier than usual. She watched the dog arrive. This time, she didn't try to follow him. She waited until he left, then remained seated. At exactly 9:05, with the sun peeking to the clouds and the town still quiet, a chill danced through the air, and somewhere behind her she heard her name, whispered low, like someone was trying to remember it after a very long time it happened on a Tuesday. The kind of Tuesday that felt like every other. Gray sky, sleepy streets, the scent of warm bread drifting from a bakery. Mia sat quietly at the edge of the bus stop bench, clutching the old photograph in her coat pocket. The dog was already there, as always, eyes on the road, ears flicking with each passing breeze. But something felt heavier today. The air, the silence. Even the dog seemed tenser, like he was bracing for something unseen. Mia had spent the past week researching. She found nothing online, no missing persons from 1989, no recorded accidents, no news at all about a lost child or family. It was as if they'd never existed. But the bus stop knew. The dog knew. Then she found it, a hand-drawn map stuffed between her grandmother's recipe books. It marked an old bus route, long discontinued, running from the edge of town to a forested area that had been fenced off years ago after a mudslide. But something about the route name struck her, Line 9A, the last ride. According to old schedules, it used to pass the bus stop at 9:06 a.m. sharp. No stops, no returns. That morning, Mia didn't blink once between 9 o'clock and 9:10. And at 9:06, right on time, it came, a long, faded blue bus with peeling paint, fogged-up windows, and a dull metallic groan as it slowed down in front of the stop. No one else reacted. Cars drove past like nothing was there. Birds didn't fly away. It was as if the world paused just for her. The dog stood up. Mia held her breath. The doors creaked open, not outward, but inward, like a breath being drawn. No driver was visible. And for the first time in all the morning she'd watched him, the dog moved forward, toward the bus. But then someone stepped off, barefoot, wearing clothes 2 decades out of date. A boy no older than 8, hair slightly damp, eyes full of sleep, and a voice soft and confused. Shadow. The dog leapt into him, tail wagging wildly, whining like a child reuniting with a lost parent. Mia's mouth went dry. She pulled out the photo. It was them. Exactly them. Not older. Not aged. As the boy and dog walked down the street, hand in fur, the bus waited a moment longer, then disappeared. No engine. No smoke. Just gone. And the next day at 8:05, the bench was empty. Some bonds never break. Not even with time or death. Love, loyalty, and memory can echo across years, unnoticed by the world, but never forgotten by the heart that waits. Sometimes closure doesn't come through answers, but through presence and the courage to keep showing up until the past is ready to return.